Hello everyone, welcome back to GED's playthrough of Tales of Arise. We are going in the the Renan Tunnel of Mystery up here on Lenegis, and looks like we're about to have a fight, so let's get into it. No talking from me in this episode. Enjoy.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when—
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria to control Zeugles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master core?
What the? Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Zugel, then we get some answers.
I've stricken!
Exploit the enemy's weakness.
Inferno close! Not on my watch! Annihilation!
Now we're not—
Celestial Hammer!
Can't get out of this!
Will this help?
On your knees.
Shattering
Pieces! Attack time! On guard! I can carve through armor!
There! I've stricken! Inferno close! Together! On guard! By the power of flame! Finish with this one's mine! Illuminate the dark! Come forth!
Going in.
Glimmer! Seal!
Radiant light! That takes the
Sleep now!
Take this!
Awaken your
Appreciate
sleeping
the arts were
fortress.
interrupted.
I couldn't make it in time.
This one's mine!
Heal! Thanks, Shionne.
Sharpness all! This one's mine!
Down! You're on!
Celestial Hammer!
Far enough! Let's put you out of your misery!
Celestial Hammer!
This one's mine!
Heal!
Hurricane Foot! Blizzard Bloom! Not on my water! Mega Ray! Celestial
ready.
Hammer! Oh, Shield! Astral Energy! Full throttle! Go!
Shine!
Illuminate the
Radiant
dark!
light! Force of regeneration!
Save you!
Mega Ray!
Regenerate.
Holy Land! Thanks! Just what I need! Try to come over! Lunar Celestial Hammer! Blizzard Bloom!
Take this!
And out
By the power of water!
No
How
dawn
about
shall
this?
break this night!
Burning
What?
Strike!
Benediction light!
Lightning Meteor! Illuminate the dark! Come forth, Holy Glimmer! Seal! Maximum burn! Let me help!
Here's my
Burning! Blah, 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 magic!
Eat dirt!
Shattering of pieces!
Attack time! Reload! Here's a healing art!
How about armor won't save you!
Appreciate the help.
Sharpness! Radiant Blast!
Primed and ready.
Celestial! This one's mine!
Prepare to be sealed! Take this!
Time to shine!
In a bind!
The natural defenses are fading. I'm a sitting duck.
Retreat from this battle.
Retreat? I would never.
Not on my watch! Celestial Hammer!
Take this!
Healing Circle!
The enemy's
See
reeling.
what I can do! Complacency is the root of carelessness.
Point
Sorry
taken.
for trouble.
No
Stay
getting up,
sharp,
please!
everyone.
Illuminate the dark! Come forth, Holy Glimmer! Holy Land!
Take this!
Burn by the power of water!
I'll face you.
Here!
Blade, come on! You have to hold on!
Can you take it?
By the power of water! Mega Ray! Do it! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Now it's just her!
Faria! Can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shionne, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You? Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnagin, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnagin, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone. I know it hurts to hear. But those people are dead. Forgiveness, acceptance...
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living, not for those already passed, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past?
Only fixing the problem in it.
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim. Not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself. And for the change that you still can be.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shionne.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what...
Glad to be a...
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team. What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah, it's that voice.
The will of Dahna's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her, it reminds me of Shionne's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dahna.
But the will of Dahna is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions, I don't know.
Dahna's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut! Let's keep moving. If it's Dahna's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth...
Shionne's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what...
Finally.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what it...
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shionne's thorns. As well as my own past, I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens. I'm determined to save Shionne and Dahna. Nothing I learn can change that.
That vision we saw.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dahna might be involved some...
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dahna's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent. Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. A composite being capable of controlling Dahnan astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Dahnan. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign?
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the Master Course. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait. I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique Adjustment Index, Generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alph.
It's fine, really.
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique Adjustment Index, Generation, NA. Given name, Volhran.
Volhran? But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volhran are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment...
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the Sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a Sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say...
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can. While
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign, and Volhran. On as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Naori, I...
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dahna. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Rena never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Alphen. Farewell.
Naori...
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode.
The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... if I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memory.
Only 2 sovereigns in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah, we wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever...
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renis Alma was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renis Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us, all in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Elfin's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alfin lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done with the destructive force now slumbering inside of me. I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best bet. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it first. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead. That's what I hoped. But, alas, it was not to be. The Renis Alma was lost. And Alfin, the Sovereign, was in a starship bound for Dahna. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden. To buy the world what little time I could. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted. And for a new Sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse on to my descendants as well. Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just...
Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Dahnan voice speaking through her?
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the Maiden's outfit?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Shionne, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Shionne.
It's possible? You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too optimistic.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance. Even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but...
No, it isn't! You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah! We can protect the world and save Shionne at the same time!
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renan lore is bound to be a useful asset.
Miracles just...
How do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Shionne. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop. So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. She stopped my rampage and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Shionne. It's my fault that you're cursed.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony, and Naori's attempt to stop Oblivion. You paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The reason you lost your memories
is the reason for your curse.
The thorns.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally put an end to all this.
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No, the truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack, embracing everyone. All the normal things that people do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself, and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of... What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do, right?
Yeah. You're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake. So I can live.
You're worth fighting for.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. I'll keep on fighting until our future is finally in our hands.
Sounds like this Naori chick had quite the big heart.
Her position demanded nothing less. From the sound of things, she didn't focus on differences, least of all those between Renans and Dahnans.
Yeah. It was Naori who first showed me that such a thing was even possible. And then she saved my life by sending me back home to Dahna.
Not only that, but she willingly stayed behind on Lenegis for the sake of her people. It sounds like she was quite the hero, all right. A truly caring person.
It's as if walls meant nothing to her. The one separating the Renans from the Dahnans, or herself from others. She had no need for them.
Which basically meant that she never had anything to break down in the first place, huh? Yeah. I think you may be right about that.
You inherited that legacy.
Don't I know?
She's kind of like a lodestar guiding our way, showing us what we can aspire to.
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store.
Volhran! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait, though. Something doesn't seem right here.
Once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself. Reduced to a mere cog in a machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dahna.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dahna's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renis Alma. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alphen, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
They all have the same face? How is that even possible? What is this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't... Are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
They're not feeling particularly talkative.
It's no use, Alphen. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting ducks here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
Lunar corruption! I can carve through water! Flaming meteor! This one's mine!
Awaken the sleeping spirit! That'll bring you down! This one's mine! Sharpness on! Execute! Interrupted! Air thrust! Hands in the wind! Air thrust! I'm going to need you in the wind! Air thrust! Time to shine! Healing ready! Thanks, Shionne. Back into not on my watch! Thanks, Shionne. Mega ray! Celestial hammer!
No further!
Radiant here! Hurricane strike! Feast of by the power of water!
This one's all mine!
I'm gone! One
You
more!
picked the wrong fight!
Down! You're all dead!
I'll smash you! Negative gate!
Crystal! Healing circle! Stay summoned! Glacial crystal! Here's evil! Flare up! Celestial hammer! Rise and shine! Resurrection! Ready! Gemini Alpha! Celestial hammer! Finish without a trace! Where are you going?
Igneous Centaur! Elusive deity! Rotating pile driver!
Gemini Alpha!
Seismic rupture!
Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy glimmer!
Piercing roar! Shattering to pieces! Attack blast on the wind!
Divine savior! Illuminate the guard! Ground air power! Illuminate the dark!
I'll smash you!
Maximum burn! Sealed!
Inferno crossing!
Radiant chained magic and ammo! You get the gist! By the power divine savior! Finish with the not in your dreams! Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy glimmer!
This one's all mine! This one's mine!
Divine savior! Come on! Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy glimmer! Healing! Holy land! Fires of passion! Torch in this flame! Sealed! Primed and ready!
Shine! Radiant
Darkness on! Illuminate the dark! Come down! Annihilate!
I can carve through armor!
More without
Let us
trust!
take to the fray!
Holy land! Going in!
Can't get out of this!
Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy glimmer! Searing illuminate the dark! Come forth! Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy glimmer! Resurrection!
I couldn't make it in time.
Celestial hammer! Mega ray! Annihilation! Ready! Hurricane strike! Finish with your dreams! Illuminate the dark! Come forth!
Anything in order!
Shine! Radiant
Chained
light!
magic and
Regeneration! Regenerate!
divine savior! By the power of water!
Free from regret.
By the power of flame!
I'll
Fade
face
without
you.
a trace! Sorry! On guard! Ground and
Shine!
I never
Radiant
miss.
light! Force of regeneration!
Inside me yearns to be let free!
Regenerate!
Stay! Holy land!
Take
Inferno
this!
crossing! Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy glimmer! Holy land!
No further!
Glacial! I'll heal you to thine own depth!
Eat dirt!
In here!
Sorry to trouble.
Ready to go! Do the same for me! Concentrate! Fires of passion! Magic is am! In here! Lightning! Downfall! Going in! Awaken the sleeping spirit! I'm... Sorry!
Forgive me. This is my fault.
I need to pull myself together. Take this! Time to shine!
This one's mine!
Illuminate the dark! Ready! This one's mine! Lunar corruption! Hurricane strike! By the power of water! Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy glimmer! In here! Go in! That'll bring you down! Inferno!
in a bind?
Switch better!
Reflect on ice.
No more playing nice!
Smite with blackened blade.
Let me show you what my art can do! Rise and shine! Illuminate! Going in!
Can you take it?
In here! By the power of water! Leave radiant here! Not on my watch! Denied! A chain of magic is in! Finish without a fight!
Take this! Now you see what I can do!
Illuminate the dark! Power of flame! Holy Land! Fire's attacking! Fire's attacking! Scorch in this flame! Switch to offense! Sleep now! Burning strike! More where that came from!
The flame inside is yours! Shine! Radiant light!
Zestiria! Crescent moon!
Ignite!
Thanks so much!
Take this!
Celestial hammer!
Can't get out of this!
By the power of water! On guard!
Can you take it?
To pieces! Easter! Glacial, I never miss! Illuminate the dark! Come forth!
Shine!
Holy ready!
Radiant light! Force of regeneration!
Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy glimmer! How about this? Not on my watch!
Resonate with the earth!
Flaming meteor!
On
Holy land!
Now it's
Take
my
care
turn!
of...
Shield
and
and
Far enough! Need to pull myself together. Searing flame! I make it rain! Dohalim!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What? It's self-destructed?
Alphen!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much.
So you know this place?
Naturally. It was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart.
Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me?
You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dahna, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dahna. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Dahnan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volhran. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean... Volhran was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a...
A slave from Dahna. Just like us. Isn't that right? Volhran.
So he posed as a Renan and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renan and Dahna are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
Serenus Alma!
It's too late. We can't stay here.
We need to go. Outfit!
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am.
Are you two okay?
Yeah. We'll be fine.
Is Volhran... Have we finally seen the last of him?
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers in Faria in a trance?
What, those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renus Alma. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Volhran mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this thing over on Rena, that's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Renus Alma in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dahna.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
But seriously, I was...
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that was pretty cool. Nice little reveal there. And I'll catch you in the next one.